You know that feeling when you finish a scary story and it just sticks with you for days? Well, today, we're not just going to tell you a ghost story. We're going to pop the hood, take it apart piece by piece, and see exactly what makes it tick. We're going to look at the hidden architecture that turns a good scare into something you just can't forget. So, how do we do that? We're going to explore a story about something super normal, something a lot of us have done, grabbing a cab home late at night. And we're going to use the classic 5-act structure to see exactly how the terror is built, layer by layer, from one slightly weird detail into a full-blown nightmare. All right, Act 1. Every great story, especially a horror story, has to start somewhere normal, somewhere relatable. So we meet our main character, Nisha. She's 26, and she is just completely wiped out after a late shift at work. See? It's familiar. Her goal is simple, just get home. And that relatability is so key, you know? It gets us to lower our guard, which makes what's coming next feel way more jarring. I mean, who hasn't felt that? This sets a really simple, universal goal. It makes us connect with Nisha instantly. But then, the story slips in the first little detail that's just a bit off. She gets the same driver, Mahesh, for the 3rd night in a row. Now, it's not impossible, right? It's just strange. And that is a classic horror move. It isn't a monster jumping out. It's just a tiny crack in the ordinary that plants that first little seed of unease. Okay, here we go. Act 2. This is where that normal world we just set up starts to unravel. The story really begins to tighten its grip here. It's all about methodically layering these unsettling little events to crank up the suspense. The whole point is to take us, and Nisha, from feeling just a little weirded out to being genuinely afraid. Let's see how it does it. So just look at how this builds. Each step is another clue that makes Nisha and us start to question what's real. I mean, taking a weird route, that's strange. An old news report on the radio? Kinda creepy. Passing the same billboard twice? Okay, now that feels supernatural. But that phone call? Oh, that shatters reality. Her friend says she never even got in the cab. But she's in the cab. The conflict isn't just about getting home anymore. It's about what's even real. So the journey leads them to a place of total isolation. A deserted flyover, high above the city. There's nobody else around. It's a classic horror trope for a reason. By taking Nisha out of the familiar city grid, the story yanks away any chance of help. All that suspense, all that dread we've been building up, it is about to snap. And then this happens. The car's digital clock just freezes. Time itself stops. The colon between the numbers just blinks and blinks, stuck at 3:33 a.m. This is it. This is the point of no return, where the story's big mystery is about to be laid bare. And there it is, the reveal. Mahesh, the driver. He's a ghost. But notice, he's not some cackling monster. He's a guy who's trapped, forced to relive the night of his fatal crash over and over again. It makes the horror so much more complex, doesn't it? You're not just scared of him. You might actually feel a little sorry for him, which is a really unsettling mix of emotions. And that's why this is the perfect climax. All those weird little details, the strange route, the old radio broadcast, the date, it all clicks into place. The supernatural isn't a question anymore, it's a fact. And our hero is trapped in a car with a ghost. The horror is no longer in what we don't know, it's in the terrifying certainty of her situation. Now, after that peak of terror, you'd think the story would end there, but instead, it seems to offer us an escape hatch. In a moment of pure desperation, Nisha gets the ghost to drive to a small roadside temple she remembers from his story. She rings the bell, begging for it to be over. And then just like that, she wakes up. This is what we call the falling action. The story gives us this perfectly logical, rational explanation for everything. The security guard says he found her asleep on a bench. Her friend confirms her cab was canceled. It was all a nightmare, right? Just a stress dream from working too hard. And we all, along with Nisha, get to breathe this huge sigh of relief. The horror is over. Or is it? So now she's safe. She's with her friend. She's ready to laugh the whole thing off as a really bad dream. She's about to put it all behind her. But then she does what we all do. She decides to check her phone one last time. And this is the moment. This is the masterstroke that takes this from just a good scare to something that's going to stick with you. It yanks that feeling of safety right out from under us just when we thought we were on solid ground. Boom. Physical evidence. A digital ghost. This one single photo just rips away any chance of a rational explanation. It proves the nightmare was terrifyingly, undeniably real. She wasn't dreaming. She was there, and a piece of that night came back with her. So you see, this 5-act structure isn't just some boring blueprint for writers. It's a map of our own fears. It walks us from the comfortable world we know right into the heart of something impossible, and then it leaves us with that lingering question mark. The best horror isn't just about a jump scare. It's about a perfectly crafted story that makes us wonder if our own reality is quite as solid as we think it is. Thanks for breaking this down with me.